Europe salutes you, that it does. Don't we, boy? Yes, we do. We salute Canada for making a wise choice, and thank goodness that there are some people out there who clearly have more than just one tiny little brain cell that aren't trumpets like Pierre Poilievre. Now, if you did vote for Pierre Poilievre, hard luck. Your Trump, quite frankly, didn't help you much. Not with his post. No. So I'm trying to make out that, yes, vote for Pierre Poilievre, and then you'll be the 51st state of the United States. Now, any sane Canadian does not want that. Now, I've heard some Canadians say, Conservative voters say, that Conservatives vote for more freedom. How is that freedom when you have to suckle on old Donald Trump's chocolate starfish? You'll have to line fecking up, wouldn't you? Well, I want to share with you the thoughts of congratulations from here in Europe. And the European Union in particular have been congratulating Mark Carney. I have a particular fondness for Mark Carney. He's funny. He's bloody clever. He's a very good economist. He spent a lot of time in bank and what have you, and you think, oh my god, yeah, you know, decades in bank, and he worked for Goldman Sachs, what have you. And you think, oh, crikey, you shouldn't like him because he's a banker. No, he's one of the good ones. And he really helped us in the UK when he was the Bank of England governor. He really, really did. We would have been in a real shit place. Odd pound, it dropped, it plummeted against the euro the day after Brexit, and it could have been a darn sight worse. But Mark Carney put measures in place to protect us. So, you know, you made the right choice that you did. You voted not just with your heart, but with your brain. And I would rather, quite personally, have somebody who's got a bit of charisma, who's actually not just got charisma, not just funny, not just, a knowledgeable geezer, no. Somebody who's an economist, because in these times, that's who you need. You need somebody who knows the effects of their actions, decisions that they make, not just how it affects society, but how it affects the economy. Because without the economy, you've got nothing. We're failing it in the United Kingdom with Brexit. Our economy is shot. We've got relatively the same GDP, which is pretty much zero growth. And yet, we've got less profit margin in it. The costs of doing business are much, much higher than they were before we Brexited. Now, Donald Trump has pretty much Brexited himself from the rest of the world. And Mark Carney, well, it's what he said. That was his phrase. The United States is Brexiting from the world. And Canada. Oh, my boy, you want a treat? What are you doing down there, mate? Yeah, I know. Not very well at the moment, are you? So, I got, I'm proud of the Canadian people, to be honest. I really am. And it was the right decision. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say he's going to be like this magic wand, he's going to make everything better. But I'll tell you what he will do. He will try or do his damnedest to make sure it is. And he will not relent to Donald Trump. He's one of the very few leaders who have actually bothered to stand up to that feckin' orange buffoon who just wants to, well, be the world king. Well, Donnie, you did not rule the hearts of the majority in the world. No, most people have more understanding on what makes things work, how things tick. Because what you're doing to your own country, old Donnie, such as you got ports that are empty, in a couple of weeks you're going to have nothing on the shelves. Pretty much you're going to struggle to get what you need. I've been saying this for feckin' weeks, it was so bloody obvious. You start cutting yourself off in world trade, well then you're going to have nothing on the shelves. All the surplus stocks that you had are now being dwindled, they are. And Scott Bessent dancing around on the head of a pin, trying to tell everybody, oh, everything's going to be fine in his words. Oh, so let's see if they come back to us. The China, that is. Well, they haven't been talking to you. No. So, quite frankly, Canada's made the right decision. In effectively ostracising itself from the United States. Or is it the other way round? Is it the result? No, it's more of action-reaction. It's more of a reaction to Donald Trump's ostracisation of the rest of the world, including Canada. The thing about Donald Trump is, though, he's actually really weak. He's actually really easy to manipulate. So many people who have worked with Donald Trump in the past have said this. You've only got to flatter him. You've only got to tickle his little fancy and he'll just agree to everything. But tomorrow he'll change his mind. Now, Macron at the funeral of the Pope, he managed to bring Donald Trump and Zelensky together for a talk. He pretty much pushed them together. Now, Macron and Mark Carney are actually two very similar people. Both worked in those sectors. Both have an understanding how the economy works. And whether you love Macron or not, it's irrelevant. Macron's no fool. He doesn't work on sentiment and feeling. He works on common sense, things that work, that he sees that should work. Yeah, he makes mistakes, and so do a lot of others as well. Obviously, it's quite easy to do in such a difficult situation. And he's not particularly great communicating with the people. He comes over a little bit arrogant, whereas Mark Carney doesn't. I think that's Mark Carney's superpower. When he's doing all these sketches with Mike Myers and that is his superpower. He can relate to the Canadians' sense of humour. Because he has one. Whereas Donald Trump doesn't have a sense of humour. He just doesn't. When you see him laugh, he only laughs when he's hurting people like Elon Musk. Now, Mark Carney's pretty much said by Brexiting from the world, you'll have a weaker currency, you have weaker trade, you have a weak economy, you have a weak society, which means you'll have, weaker freedom of speech. Freedom of speech hasn't increased in the United States. It's actually been crushed. Unless you agree with Donald Trump. But the Canadian people didn't want that. And why should they? They want freedom. They want to be their own people. Don't we all? Quite frankly. No. In the political, a few politicians have, they spoke out, they have, yeah. Such as Ursula von der Leyen. And she said, congratulations to Mark Carney and the Liberal Party on their election victory. The bond between Europe and Canada is strong, and it is strong. Now, Canada might not be trading as much with the United States. I'll tell you who we'll be trading with. It's going to be trading with the whole of Europe. Well, maybe not Russia. It's going to be trading the UK and the European Union, member states and what have you. They'll be no problems at all. And Asian countries as well, such as China and what have you, They're building up on their relationships. So Australia and places like that, Well, you got to remember, the United States has 350 million potential customers. Some of them are going to be babies, sucking on my mother's nipples. Yeah. If you know what I mean. Bitty. Anyway, I don't know why I did that. Anyway, what was that? American Pie the Wedding, that's it, yeah. Bitty, focus. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Now, the thing is, though, you see, with the United States, 350 million people. The European Union's 450 million people. The United Kingdom knocked out on the top as well, another 67 million people. And then you got the whole of Asia, that's like billions of people. It's just nuts. They just keep breeding, they do. They keep getting jiggy with it. They ain't got a problem there. They've got plenty of people. Unfortunately, they're old. Yeah, they ain't got enough young people to look after the old people. That's where the problem's lie. We are all going to be suffering that one. Since we're not, We're not making them like we used to, no. They're all feckin' broken. Anyway. We're not as fertile as we used to be, especially the men. So, that was Ursula von der Leyen. So the EU and Canada have a long and close partnership. We are allies and are strong trade partners. We share the same values and attachment to the UN Charter and the rules-based international order. God, better. To me, that makes so much sense. Now, we will continue working closely together, including in the G7, said European Council President Antonio Costa. And Carney, who has previously headed up the G7 central banks, he'd worked for Goldman Sachs for about 10 years, I believe. He was I think he was Bank of England governor, wasn't he, for Canada? Bank governor for Canada as well, and then a Bank of England governor. And, like I say, I love that guy. Platonically, obviously. Okay? Look at the wrong idea. Well, and the Dutch Prime Minister, Dick Schoof, echoed von der Leyen and Costa's sentiments. Canada and the Netherlands share historic ties and common values and work together in many fields like trade, economics, security and defence. Now, what I love about this situation, okay, with the United States kind of like put on a bit back burner, because things could change in the future, let's be honest. Hopefully for the better, It's like you're starting a brand new, exciting project. Maybe you just started a business, for instance. It's like that, you know what I mean? It gives you that buzz. And I hope the Canadian people feel like that. With these new opportunities and stronger ties with trading partners, like I say, with common ideals. Who aren't MAGA. And it goes on to say that I look forward to continuing the close cooperation between our countries and to welcome him to the NATO summit in Hague on the 24th and 25th of June, Schoof added. It goes on, and Keir Starmer, he also has a good relationship with Mark Carney. He's had a fair bit of dealings with him in the past. Congratulations to Mark Carney on your election victory. The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said in a statement, now, the UK and Canada are the closest of allies, partners and friends, and we will work together to deepen our economic relationship to deliver security for hard-working people in the United Kingdom and Canada, which we were both elected to do, Starmer added. Yeah, so this is all about new horizons, and it's exciting for Europe and the United Kingdom and Asia, what have you, as well as for Canada, to build on those relationships and those economic ties. It's just... Maybe we can lighten, the UK maybe will hopefully lighten its approach with visas, regarding bringing skills into the United Kingdom and into Canada from the UK. And same with Europe. So, while the United States is in this very precarious position, we cannot put ourselves in the middle of it all. We have to strengthen ourselves. We have to strengthen our military resolve. We've got to spend more money, plain and simple. We've got to evolve. Yeah, we've got to evolve as well, really. We've got to develop new systems. Look at Ukraine. We've all shown that we can support Ukraine, except we need to be putting bloody boots on the ground. That's one thing that I think Putin would really be pissed off about. Anyway, we have we've been together and we've helped support Ukraine, and it's been those relationships became even tighter, more been deeper. It's really important for the United Kingdom as well, and everywhere, that Ukraine wins this war, and maybe not, might happen. Let's hope. But let's look on the positive side, shall we? New horizons mean new opportunities for everybody. That we have those positive moments, and I don't often make positive videos, but hopefully we will see some light at the end of this tunnel, and we will prosper from it, and our families benefit, and our children don't come home to families that are stressed and worried whether or not they're going to have a job tomorrow. It's a symbol, I suppose. It's a symbolism. Symbolism of showing the world that it can be a better place than in Donald Trump's vision, than in the vision of the Project 2025. Anyway, what do you reckon? Sebastian, what do you reckon? You look really comfy down there, he does. He's all snuggled up in the blanket, he is. His little face snuggled in the blanket. But his head's got to come up, so he's got to come back. There you are, look, you've got to say hello. Ain't you, boy? Yeah, I do love this little fella. He ain't been very well, have you? He ain't been very well at all, actually. He keeps coughing. And he's got heart disease. But he hasn't had any water in his lungs, which we don't understand. He's got a wheeze. So, yeah, I don't know why that is. It might be allergies, even. It's summer, and everyone's in bloom, and lots of seed and pollen about, I suppose. Anyway, please beat the old like button and maybe subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, you can do it on Patreon or buy us a coffee and super thanks and stuff like that. Well, super thanks? Super thanks, yeah. Oh, crikey. If you can't do that, just beat the old like button. Maybe subscribe to the channel. It's appreciated, you know. Anyway, it's time for us to go, isn't it, Bear? My Sebastian Bear. Time for us to go, so we're going to say toodaloo, you know, that we are. Toodaloo.